Hello guys and welcome to Switch Your Play, and this week we have finally the start of the Barclays Premier League and the Football League. I have three gentlemen with me. I have Michael.
Hi.
I have Tom.
Hello.
And I have Colm McGilvery.
Hello.
First game.
How are you, Josh?
I'm fine, a bit tired, but this recording will make me a lot happier and smiley.
Mention a bit about Tom going on holiday, please.
Tom, we are recording on a Sunday night because we want to get this uploaded by Monday night, and that Tom is on holiday. Chelsea 2, Swansea 2. The champions start their title defence with an entertaining 2-2 draw against Swansea.
Yeah, Chelsea started well, but it seemed that the defence just wouldn't work, and they weren't defensively sound for the whole game, and in the midfield was caught chasing, and yeah, Swansea. Well, I'm not going to say the better team, but they were swaying towards being the better team towards half time and the end of the game, and most parts of the second half.
Well, Oscar put Chelsea ahead with a lovely free kick, beating Fabianski. But Andre Ayew scoring on his debut. Colm, you did tip him to do very well, so you must be pleased.
Yeah, and also had this game as 2-2.
On our
predictions, which none of you probably believed, but all my other predictions were really bad.
Yeah, but you get that with opening day. You don't know at the opening day of fixtures, and we'll come on to a couple of results that definitely surprised me, and I'm sure the general public out there. But I was disappointed with Jose, or Chelsea mainly, in the second half. It started very slow. They were winning 2-1 at half time, and I thought, let's get a third goal and then kill the game. But they started very slow, Chelsea, and then the main talking point came when Courtois got sent off, tripping Gomes in the box. Do you think, gentlemen, that was the penalty and red card? Did Mark Oliver get it right?
Yeah, I think he did. Courtois was at the edge of the box, on the line, which is obviously a penalty. And if he doesn't bring him down, then it's definitely a goal that Gomes, open goal. But yeah, if he goes past him, he's not going to miss. And I think it was just a blatant penalty and red card because he just wasn't. I mean, it was a stupid decision for Courtois to stick a leg out and bring him down. I think it was just a moment of desperation when he realised, the situation he was in, and yeah, I can't see any way it wasn't a red card and penalty.
But surely, if Gomes gets there first, why doesn't Courtois just let him score? Because surely that Chelsea will have a much better chance with winning the game with 11 men still on the field and being 2-2, rather than just having 10 men, and then most probably Gomes would have scored a penalty, and he eventually did, obviously, and to make it 2-2. But as a manager, or if I was a manager, I think Sir Alex Ferguson said this, that he would prefer that just take the goal, but you're still 11 men, so you'll have a much better chance. Because when you're down 10 men, even if you're a good side, it's very tough to score a goal, and the probability of you losing is much greater than winning.
I think the way Swansea played yesterday just caught most people's eyes, and it got them really interested with Shelvey, Cork and Sigurdsson bossing the centre of midfield, and Montero giving Ivanovic a run around. He made Ivanovic look like it was his debut, and we'll go on to someone who made a fantastic debut later on.
I think that one thing we don't usually see in the Premier League is Chelsea getting outclassed in the middle of the park, and what Jack Cork, Sigurdsson and Shelby did really well on Saturday was they outclassed Fabregas and Matic in every area, and I think that tactically they got it just right on that occasion, and I think that if more teams can do that, because you can see how influential Fabregas and Matic are to Chelsea, and if more teams can close them down and not allow them the chances to do what they do, like it just makes the task a whole lot harder for Chelsea. I think that's what Swansea did the best at the weekend.
Yeah, they shut out the like the threat. They shut out the threat really well, and they closed them down. They were sharp in the defending, and I think Williams and Fernandes had a good game. Unfortunately, did it go down as an own goal for Fernandes, or was it a Willian goal?
No, I think it went down as Williams' goal. I'm sure.
I think Fernandes is very unlucky, and so is Fabianski, to not be able to not concede the goal. But Fernandes and Williams had a really good game as well.
Good to see that Diego Costa is still aggressive as you like. I think he's terrific. I really do. He's a great addition to the Premier League. I would hate to be defending against him just due to his physicality factor, but it's great to see him a fit Diego Costa back. And he was unlucky not to score on Saturday, but Chelsea still looks strong. Even they haven't improved the first team, I think they've got the best manager in the league by far. So
they've got the best team as well.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to improve really. They just need to improve their squad players, and I think they will win the league. But credit to Swansea and credit to Gary Monk. They scored 2 goals, and they were the only team last season to score 2 goals against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge too. So clearly Gary Monk knows how to play, how he gets his tactics right, and we touched on Shelvey. I think he's a very underrated player. Didn't really work out at Liverpool, but since he's come in to Swansea, he's been a breath of fresh air, and I think he should be in the England squad for the next coming qualifier against Switzerland. Qualifier against Switzerland, and possibly for the Euro 2016 squad if he has a better season
against Scotland. We'll touch on that later on in the episodes. But I think Shelvey is a fantastic player.
Yeah, from one current Chelsea manager to an old one, I think that works. Leicester 4, Sunderland 2, and my goodness me, I thought this would be one of the worst games in the weekend, but it turned out to be probably one of the best. Goals galore at the King Power Stadium.
Ranieri I think he played rock music as the teams came out, just to kind of spur the players on. I don't know what that was about. It clearly worked, to be fair.
Or they were winning 3-0 or 3-0 up in 25 minutes. But they carried on their great form from end of last season to this, and I think Ranieri just said, I know how well you can play. Just go out and perform like you did in the last few games of the Premier League season, and they were terrific. But Mahrez and Vardy again, they were 2 main players last season that kind of revitalised. And again, Mahrez got a brace. Could have easily got 5 or 6 on the day. But big problems at the back for Sunderland.
The new signings is just Kabul and Coates. Like you said, we're not going to be good defenders, and you were right. And being 3-0 up, 3-0 down, sorry, we'll talk about Sunderland in 25 minutes. There needed to be a change, and I didn't think that Lee Cartmel was. I know he was on a yellow card, but I don't think
he's always on a yellow card, isn't he?
He starts the game with a yellow card now. But I don't think making that change was the right one. I think maybe taking Kabul or Coates off would have been the right change, and they didn't even start the new signing Matthews, which I felt was a bit harsh, because he surely has a point to prove, but I think he'll get in the team next week against Norwich.
Mm-hmm.
And it was either we can talk about it both 2 ways. The performance, Leicester were amazing, or was it Sunderland? Well, shocking.
I think just because Leicester aren't that, I wouldn't say they're a top Premier League side, so I'd say it's more Sunderland being dreadful than Leicester being very good. And credit to Leicester, they capitalise on the errors from Sunderland. They're very fluid and intact, a lot of pace from Mahrez, Vardy. Mark O'Brien, I thought he was a very good signing last season, when he moved from Villa to Leicester. It was I thought it was a bad move from Aston Villa to sell him, because I've always thought he's a very consistent performer. He showed on Saturday that he was very good, very good indeed, and the fourth goal was terrific, wasn't it? Back to goal, and then
just quick turning smash.
We spoke about Sunderland's defensive woes in the season preview, and it looks like, I know it's the first game, so it's hard to judge too much, and we'll come on to some bigger teams that have had great results this weekend, but it looks pretty dire already for Sunderland. But Norwich did lose their opening fixture to Crystal Palace. It was 1-3. Tom, I think you're quite qualified to talk about this, because you did watch a game. So did I, but I did. I think, Palace perspective first of all.
Watch more than me.
Well, in the game we saw a load of poor decisions from the referee, which really changed the outcome of the game in the end. One of the talking points was Cameron Jerome, as he leant backwards to kick the ball, and he put it in the net past McCarthy, and Joel Ward leant down to head the ball away, and for some reason the referee seemed to think it was dangerous play and disallowed the goal. And I think that was just a terrible decision. Mm-hmm. And had he not got that wrong, the game could have ended so differently. It was the equaliser, I think.
Yeah, it was at 2-1.
Yeah. It was the equaliser. It would have been the equaliser had it been allowed, and I think that's just a really stupid thing to get wrong, and terrible decision that really cost Norwich points at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. With scoring that goal just before, about 3 minutes early, it was clearly momentum shifted Norwich's way, and with the goal, or with the disallowed goal, should I say, the referees just completely got it wrong, because Jerome doesn't even see Joel Ward, because he's back turned to him. Second of all, he's what is he meant to do? He's gone with his foot, because he literally can't head it, because it's not the correct position. He's gone for his foot. He's got great finish, wonderful finish, and Joel Ward's low head. I don't get it from the referee's point of view. It's not dangerous play at all. I don't want to brat on about referees, because they do have a tough job. I think we'll all admit that we definitely couldn't do it. But Simon Hooper, it's his first Premier League game, and I think sadly it might be his last, because he got three shocking decisions, 3 big decisions. That's 3 big decisions in this game, and he got all 3 wrong. Or in my opinion, and Mark Harsey, ex-referee, agrees with me, which is always nice to have. The first big decision was when Glenn Murray studs over ball, tackled Graham Dorrans, and it's not a red card, but it's a definite yellow, because studs over ball, it's a yellow card.
Yeah, I think it's a yellow.
Even if it's
discussion,
even if it's first foul, don't care. It's a yellow, but the referee pulled him across and just had a talking to, and that moment he lost control of the game, because then the players thought, I can do everything or anything, and he will not book me. And if he gave Murray a yellow card, which was completely the right decision, he took control and he was stamped his authority in the game, and that's all about the refs. They got stamp authority on the game. Howard Webb, now retired, but he's brilliant at that. He was brilliant, just stamping his authority on the game. And the second decision we've already spoken about, the Cameron Jerome disallowed goal, and the third one was Basong penalty claim in the last 2 minutes of the game, and when Conor Wickham shoved him with his right arm, he did make a meal out of it. But at first I thought probably not a penalty, but from replays it looked like a pretty blatant shove, wasn't it? Even he did have his arms out wide to make the most of it, but he shoved him in the back. Anywhere else on the pitch, as a free kick. So why isn't it a penalty? Just because it's in the penalty area, why isn't it a penalty?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's slightly less clear cut than the other decision, because there's a few people, Michael included, that said he doesn't think it's a penalty, but in my eyes, I think it's still a huge decision in the game, and it was one that cost Norwich. That went against them, and Kabay went down the other end, and Palace went down the other end, got the ball to Kabay, who one-on-one and slid it past the keeper and sealed the game up 3-1.
But I think we got to keep it kind of neutral with the Norwich's defending was abysmal, to say the least, especially for the second goal. It was a well-worked set piece from Crystal Palace, a corner. I think it was Kabay who swung it out to Suarez, who came running in from about 30 yards out, free in the penalty area, heads it down, and Delaney smashes it home past Ruddy. Pretty amateur defending, I have to admit.
Yeah, I can't believe no one closed him down, Suarez. They had ample opportunity to do that, but no one took it as their responsibility to go and do that, and it cost them really. Yeah,
it certainly didn't help, because that was quite early on in the second half. Surely the plan must have been for Alex Neil or Norwich's side to really have a go at Palace, start and try and get the equaliser to make it 1-1 and maybe push on for a winner. But you got to say that Norwich showed a lot of spirit. Basically, I would say coming back to 2-2 if Jerome's goal obviously would have been allowed. But I think the performance, and I'm not being biased, some people might call me biased, but I think Norwich showed enough attacking intent. Yes, Graven missed a couple of chances, and you should be burying them, because if you don't bury them, you're not going to get another chance. But I think the football we played, the attacking intent, we dominated the ball against a very good Crystal Palace side. It showed me that I think we have enough to stay in the division. And now on to the second promoted club, Watford 2, Everton 2. A bloody good draw for Watford. I thought they would get beat by Everton quite comfortably, but they were very unlucky actually to draw that game.
I think with the new signings that Watford brought in, there's a lot of questions being asked at whether them players will gel and play well together. But I think that they proved that against obviously a good Everton side at Goodison Park, that they can play well together. They probably proved a lot of people wrong today, and I think it could go one or two ways for Watford. I think obviously it's only one game, you can't judge it off it, but they might have signed too many players and they're unproven in the Premier League. Most of the players they've signed, and they could go straight back down, or they could have signed quality foreigners who are going to fit straight into a Premier League team and it'll finish well above the relegation places. And I think the Watford we saw against Everton was certainly a team that will finish above the relegation places.
Yeah, I mean, they looked fantastic. It was the two players that haven't joined in the last transfer window, though, that got the goals. I think it was Lone and Igalo that got the goals for Watford.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did really well going forward. And I think they were a bit unlucky to not get all 3 points, because it took a late equaliser from Kone and a fantastic strike from Barclays to get the 2 goals for Everton. So on another day, Watford could be going away with a 2-1 or 2-0 result and getting all 3 points. So I think Watford were fantastic, and they proved a lot of doubters wrong yesterday that they could perform with all these new players in the team.
I think there will be a lot of worried faces on the fans of Everton, because obviously they had a very disappointing season last term, and they were looking to build on that and try and get themselves back into the top 10 positions. And if they don't, I can see Martinez heading out the exit door, because obviously their fans will be expecting a lot more from them as opposed to last season, I think.
Everton yesterday, they were extremely lucky, because Watford ran the game for parts and they looked comfortable in the Premier League, which when the last time they were poor defensively, and they just couldn't find a way into games. But this time, yeah, Deeney was very lucky to stay on the pitch. For me,
Yeah, I can't believe that wasn't a red card. But I thought when I saw that on Match of the Day, I was like, that's got to be a straight red. Very strange decision from a referee there. Clear as daylight, I thought. 2 feet off the ground. I'm surprised that Everton players didn't make too much about it. Didn't crowd around the referee. Obviously, there's new rules. There's only about two players can go up to a referee now. But it was a very strange decision there.
I think was it 2 days after Chelsea put in that £20 million bid for John Stones or something. They upped the bid from the last offer. He had a poor game. I think that might be at the back of his mind.
Yeah, Garlick's a great striker. He was brilliant in the Championship last season. And John Stones, his position was poor for that goal. He was on the back foot always. Man, it's always hard to change direction when you're on the back foot. And he just made a meal out of it, didn't he? Stones fell on his backside, but a guy took on about 2 or 3 Everton players with good fake shots, and a great finish past Tim Howard, and that's composure from a guy like. And he was doing it in the Championship, as me and Michael know about, and he does take his chance very well, and he'll be a good striker in the Premier League. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are expecting Deeney to be Watford's main man in front of goal this season, but I don't think you could write Igalo off for possibly being the top scorer this season. I think, obviously, in the second half of last season, he was prolific in the Championship. He managed to get himself about 20 goals in total, I think. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if he can carry that form on in the Premier League, then Watford fans will be really happy, and he might be the man to keep them up. You just don't know yet.
I think Igalo is definitely a better finisher than Deeney, because in the Championship, Deeney had a lot of chances, and yes, he scored 20 plus goals 3 seasons in a row, but I think he had a lot more chances that he could have scored. I know it's hard to say, but he could have even scored more than he did. So I think Igalo, again, he's shown his class.
Yeah,
there's no denying he's a quality player in truth.
And now we have a fairy tale that I thought I would never say. AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League. Sadly for them and their fans, that they couldn't win their first game. They lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. Tim Sherwood's Aston Villa, and I thought it was a good game. Patches, Bournemouth, as you expect, with their attacking threat, had chances, but Brad Guzan, I thought he was terrific.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth were the better team for so much time through that game. They had possession a lot more. I think they had 58% possession, which is, that's a lot more of the ball than Aston Villa had. But at the end of the day, I think Bournemouth should have taken their chances a lot better. It was just, I know Guzan had a brilliant day, but Bournemouth should have got 1 or 2 at least in that game. They weren't clinical enough at all, and it allowed, they couldn't keep that high tempo up all the way through, and it allowed that goal from Aston Villa. And I think it's just getting used to the Premier League, keeping that tempo up, and you've got to take your chances when they come. I
think it's a lot of similarities with Norwich's performance against Palace and Bournemouth's performance against Villa, because both teams had plenty of chances, but I couldn't take enough, and I think that's a big gap between the Championship and the Premier League. And Eddie Howe alluded to it in his post-match interview, saying, "We know we got to take these chances. There's not many chances that come in this league." And Callum Wilson missed a 1-on-1, and maybe in the Championship he would have probably got another 1-on-1 and he would have scored that. So in this league you only get 1 or 2 chances as a striker, and that's going to be key for Wilson. I think they're a bit low up top, Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think Rante and Wilson. I think that's their only
But I
attack.
guess
And
Gray-
Kelm,
We've got
Yeah.
Kermit Brand.
yeah, I think Grado's more a winger.
Yeah, but I think he can. I think he's come inside. He can play in the number 10 role, and he did score 17 goals in League One last season. So maybe he can come up with the goods for Bournemouth. But the most
We've got
disappointing.
Kermit Brand as well.
Yeah, I don't think he'll cut it in the Prem, but the most disappointing factor was really Goodstead's debut goal for Aston Villa, free header from corner. That's poor defending. He's
Yeah, they need
6'4", mate. You're going
They-
to mark him.
They need to first for Bournemouth. They need to address where they went wrong, which was the finishing just wasn't there. I know some people don't see Brad Guzan as a really good keeper, but I actually rate him highly, and I think he's one of the better keepers in the Premier League.
Let's go to the first game of the Premier League season. It was a lunchtime kickoff. Manchester United 1, Tottenham 0. And let's be honest, it wasn't the best game, was it?
For the game that kicked off this season, I think you can't really predict when you're picking the games for television, but you pick this date. You pick this game and you think it's going to be a blockbuster, maybe
Yeah,
2-0, 3-2 maybe, but it didn't turn out the way it was. Even though you see the players on show, Depay, Rooney, Mata, Schweinsteiger. Even though he didn't start, but he got on. Eriksen, Kane, Vertonghen. The players that are on the pitch and the only goal scored was an OG. It's it's disappointing.
Spurs, they played well in patches. Eriksen had a glorious chance after some great link-up play with Harry Kane just looping over Romero's head, but just on top of the net in the first half. But Spurs lack a striker. And they do have Soldado and Adebayor still on their books, but with all this media speculation, it seems that both strikers could be on the way. So with leaving only Harry Kane as their one and only recognised striker, so surely Pochettino will be on the phone to get a striker or two in before the end of the window, because if they don't, I feel for them. Not feel for them, I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I can't see Kane getting the 31 goals that he did last season, but I can see him pushing over 15, but not reaching 25.
But that's not good enough on his own.
Nah, I think, see for Tottenham last season, if they have a striker who scored 31 goals last season, they have to be finishing top 4. It's just the defence lets them down every season.
Yeah. They've improved the defence with Toby Alderweireld, Kevin Wimmer, Kieran Trippier coming in. So they've done well in defensive recruitment, but now they need to look up for forward recruitment, because they are so low. That's the thing that really strikes me. But for surprise selection of in the game was David De Gea not starting, and it's Sergio Romero wasn't, and Louis Van Gaal just said he's not the David De Gea of last year. I think the speculation's definitely got to his head.
Yeah, I was also going to say another surprise person in the starting lineup was Eric Dyer, who played the CDM role with Bentaleb instead of Mason. And I think Pochettino, he's looked and he's got too many defenders, and he's thought, we've sold three centre midfielders this season, so we may as well try and make Eric a CDM, because he's a young player who can adapt to most positions, because he can play I think he can play all along that back four, which is very, very good. And I can see him making it at CDM, but also I can see him being very shaky, which it may, but it wasn't his pass that kind of set up the goal.
Yeah. He was very poor. Got subbed off in the 52nd minute. Ryan Mason came on, but Bentaleb had a really poor game. But back to David De Gea's situation, I've kind of come out with, I've actually decided, or not decided, I've written down 2 outcomes of the situation with David De Gea. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah, on you go.
Okay, one of them is that he will go to Real Madrid in the summer.
Imagine that.
And the other one which I think could happen. He won't play for Manchester United until after the summer transfer window, so September 1st. Or September 2nd, I think. It might be, I don't know. But
Yeah, I think I haven't seen Casilla play for Real Madrid yet, but I don't know how good of a goalkeeper he is. I think Keylor Navas for them last season wasn't as good as they were expecting him to be, and Casillas, he really needs replacing. So out of the options Real Madrid have got, David De Gea's got to be the man they bring in. So if they're going to bring in a goalkeeper, it's going to be him, which makes it more and more likely that he is going to move, I think.
now we're going further up north to Newcastle. Newcastle 2, Southampton 2. Full goal thriller at St James's Park, and Stephen McLaren, on his debut as manager, gets a solid point against Southampton. Ronald Koeman wasn't there due to him pulling his ankle Achilles, which is not good. It's not nice at all, is it?
It's not pleasant, is it?
No.
Especially for a 56-year-old man.
But Pella, he's back to his best. He was terrific against the Test in the second leg. He scored a great goal with his left foot, his favoured left foot, and Pella scored today with a lovely header, wasn't it? No chance for Tim Krul.
Nah, no chance. And I think with him meeting his form of what he did last season is definitely like giving Southampton fans something to shout about as well, with him scoring in the European ties that they've had before the season started, obviously. But I also want to touch on a man who didn't score as much last season, Papa Cisse, who got his first goal in a long time.
Yeah, it's good to see that McLaren's had faith in Papa Cisse, because I still feel he's a best Newcastle striker, and it's good to see him that he's starting up front first game of the season, and he's proved his place there. Scored a goal, and it's great to see Wijnaldum on his debut scoring a goal on his debut. That's a great start. Victoria faithful will love that.
They're looking at him, Wijnaldum, as a already a good investment.
Shame about his number though. Not a fan of number 5. 5 for an attacking midfielder.
I'd probably say 5 is probably right back, maybe.
Nah, centre half. One light note from the game: Mbemba turned up the game in a tux. Love that. I saw a picture earlier and it's beautiful. Yeah. It's so nice.
It's what you want to see.
Surprise result. It's certainly with a surprise result. Arsenal 0, West Ham United 2. The Hammers hammered Arsenal.
Hey. Do you want a medal for that?
The Emirates was a bubbly place pre kick-off, but it turned pretty sour.
It turned bubbly as well. It just stayed bubbly because
I actually didn't mean that.
Well, before the game, we saw a lot of Cech would have saved that, and then we found out he wouldn't. He didn't have his best game, did he? Nah, I was just... Well, Arsenal fans would be a little bit disappointed with his decisions. The first one, Kouyaté comes in for the header. He came so far out, away from his goal, didn't he? And just a terrible decision.
Yeah, surely a keeper of his experience and coming that far out, you have to win the ball.
Yeah.
You have to touch the ball.
I mean, one suggestion could be like maybe he's trying to make an impact earlier on, so he wants to get the ball, but Cech doesn't seem like the sort of player
that needs to
keeper
make it.
That needs to make an impact, to show the fans what he's all about. But perhaps he just wanted to impress, or
no, I think he likes to punch quite a lot.
I think he likes to command his box. Yeah. He likes to and to let the opposition know he's in the game.
Goalkeepers make mistakes, and it was a bad error to come out when he did, but I'm sure next game he'll put them out on match performance. But I thought West Ham were class. Bilic on the sideline. I'm 100% sure that West Ham won't win fair play under him. because they got a lot of battering rams. You got Mark Noble, got Kouate, and Reece Oxford. We have to talk about Reece Oxford, 16-year-old, making his Premier League debut against Arsenal at the Emirates. And I thought
he's the same age as me.
He's 1 year younger than me. He was amazing. I don't want to get too over the top, but tremendous performance from a 16-year-old. And I thought Ozil had a very he affected Ozil's impact of the game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
Brilliant.
he done. Sorry, go on.
No, well, just his performance. Everyone noticed it. A lot of people were talking about it, and it's going to make him really confident going into future matches. And if he continues performing like that, then he deserves the praise because he did fantastic today. And he made a big impact on Ozil especially.
It's ballsy as fuck from Bilic to put a 16-year-old in the holding position, just in front.
Were they
of the
playing
back four.
5 at the back?
Oh no, 4 at the back.
Oh. And was he just guarding?
Yeah, he was in the holding. And
I didn't watch this game, unfortunately. So
he was holding, and so much balls from Bilic. Credit to Bilic, put a 16-year-old lad in, but he looks like he's at home. Really, he reads the game so well. It's promising for West Ham. It seems like I've got a proper player, but it's all about now managing him because he doesn't want to get too over the top, and I think Bilic will be the perfect management to come in. And they got Julian Dix in there, who's ex-player for West Ham. So with our last game of the Barclays Premier League weekend, we're covering. Obviously Man City and West Brom we aren't, but I'm sure you can do your own little podcast maybe for it and send us your little podcast in at SwitchPlayYT is our Twitter. Stoke City 0, Liverpool 1. They really grinded that out, didn't they, Tom? Liverpool.
Oh, well, it wasn't the most exciting game at times. Liverpool had a kind of... it was kind of frustrating the way we played at times because so many times we had possession and we knocked it forward to Benteke and it was a high ball and it wasn't... he was surrounded by Stoke defenders, so whenever we put the ball towards him, he had no one to give the ball to, no outlets. So that was a bit disappointing, and we kept doing it as well. We kept just lobbing the ball towards him and expecting him to control it. But I mean, there were a few good points in the game. One being Stoke, they had a brilliant chance, and it was Glenn Johnson who had the chance right in front of the goal, right in the middle. I think it was basically on the penalty spot. None of the defenders closed him down, far too slow, and I'm pretty sure literally anyone else on the pitch, had they been in that situation, then it would have been 1-0. It would have been 1-0 to Stoke, but it was Glenn Johnson skewed it over the bar.
Yeah, and it was on
Terrible
his left
finish.
side, so weaker foot, but
he couldn't get out his feet.
Yeah, he should be doing a lot better. Yeah, I think it's never going to be a blockbuster game. Stoke are very compact, and I think 77 days ago we got to remember Liverpool lost 6-1 there with Steven Gerrard scoring the only goal, but this time you could see Brendan Rodgers' game plan was keep it tight first 45 minutes or 60 minutes I'd say, and then expand a bit in the last 30 minutes, and I thought Jordan Ibe had a very good game.
Oh, he was fantastic.
He's so positive, isn't he? He wants to beat his fullback every time, which is great to watch.
Yeah, every time he got the ball, he's racing forward down the wing, and I think he was fantastic in the game because I think he was the one player that when he got the ball, he was going forward and he was making an impact, and he was getting the whole team closer to the box and getting an attack. But I think sometimes he lost the ball. Perhaps he should have done better with it when he was in that sort of penultimate situation where he's got to be either passing it off or crossing it. Sometimes he lose the ball to his fullback, but yeah, he's really positive.
We got to go to the goal that won Liverpool the game, and boy oh boy, Philippe Coutinho, what a strike! He's done that before. I remember the goal against Southampton last season. about which one goal a month on match of the day, and this might even win goal of the month. I just want to say, I think Jack Barton's positioning for the goal wasn't brilliant.
No, it's not so like Jack Barton. It was a wonderful goal.
I think maybe I'm being harsh on Jack Barton, but I think he could have done a lot better.
Josh, you're just picking the small negatives and the positive here. It was a fantastic goal.
I'm being what I think when I saw the goal. I thought Barton's positioning was wrong. Was out. Now we move from the Premier League down division to the Sky Bet Championship, and Michael, as our football league correspondent, take it away, Michael. Just give us a couple of games, but
a brief roundup.
But we'll come and help you.
I think we've got to start with Brentford 2, Ipswich 2. Obviously, Brentford went 2-0 up early on. Then it went to extra time. I think, Brentford managed to pull it back to 2-2 in the space of about 4 minutes. I think the last goal came in about the 96th minute. I think obviously Ipswich fans will be devastated, and Brentford and Ipswich will both be targeting promotion. And I didn't watch the game, but I assume that Ipswich were the better side, and Brentford obviously showed their quality in the last minutes to peg it back to 2-2.
On defending for both of Brentford's goals, from Ipswich's point of view, were dreadful, and promotion material when you concede 2 goals in 4 minutes. Should be seen out of the game. Sure, McCarthy is absolutely furious with his defence, because it's 2 points dropped. Even it's in the first game of the season, it's 2 points dropped, and you never know, come May, they could be those points that maybe see them out of the playoffs or even out of the automatic promotion places. So yes, it was a great start for Ipswich until about the 90th minute, but they'll be disappointed to come away with just a point at a very good ground. Brentford, like it.
It's going to be a big season for both teams, considering how high they finished last season. And I think I don't see both of them getting into the playoffs. I can see them finishing top 10, but I can't see them getting playoffs because that league is becoming increasingly competitive, and it's harder now to consolidate a playoff place.
I think if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Ipswich.
Yeah.
I think Brentford have lost too many quality players.
And they just need to try and keep Andre Gray. So that'll be their big challenge in the coming weeks.
What about 8 million for him, don't they?
But if I can keep I'll keep him. I've got a proven goal scorer in the championship. Scored about 15-20 goals, and he's on the up, I think.
I think one of the shock results you could say this weekend was Rotherham 1, MK Dons 4.
Rotherham didn't have they escaped relegation last season very very narrowly, and for MK Dons coming up, they wanted to prove something, especially away from home, and they surely have done that with a very convincing win. And they now look good. They look like a good championship team. They look very very sound as a team, and they know how to pass and move and create chances.
Well, first off, even Carl Robinson said they were lucky. It was 1-1, and Rotherham should have scored to make it 2-1, but didn't, and that kind of changed the game. And MK Dons got a lucky second goal. So you get your luck in football, and I think 4-1. I think it definitely flattered MK Dons quite a lot. And Rotherham are not a very good championship side, as Colm just said. But they just escaped relegation last season, and I think they'll be in the same position, or maybe even worse this current season. So, but MK Dons, it's good. It's a great start, no doubt about that. But there'll be more challenges ahead for them.
Yeah, they'll certainly be wanting to try and do a double promotion this season. The question is, have they got the quality to do it? I don't think they personally have, but with the right team spirit, right morale going, I think anything's possible in this division. Next we'll talk about Charlton 2, QPR 0. Obviously, QPR had the likes of Austin, Robert Green in goal, Leroy Fer. I think a lot of people were expecting them to get off to a good start, especially before they go and sell some of them players. But Charlton, I think Tony Watt got himself a goal. Obviously, scored against Barcelona a couple of years back, and I think Charlton could be one of the surprise packages this season. They've got, I think it's Vetekele up front, something like that.
Yeah.
And he looks good. He looks like a good Championship striker. Certainly at the start of last season.
Yeah, he was terrific, wasn't he?
And they've got real pace up front, I think, with him and Tony Watt. And I don't know if maybe QPR were caught a bit off guard, maybe, because obviously they are used to the Championship, a lot of that squad. But I don't know, maybe they're expecting it to be easier than it was. And I think Charlton were just really up for it.
Yeah, they looked really sharp, and Charlton are a team that you think they're just going to finish maybe 14th, 13th, maybe 12th every season, and then they're going to be fine with that. But surely beating just a relegated side with a QPR have a good squad. Charlton win 2-0. I know it was at home, but beating QPR 2-0, that must give that squad a lot of confidence, especially on the first day.
Derby, one of the pre-season favourites to be promoted. Obviously, a lot of expectations on them this season. Obviously, but they couldn't get past a Bolton side that looks set for a relegation battle. But you just never know in this league. They managed just one shot on target, and Bolton managed to hold them to a stalemate.
Well, Bolton were down to 10 men too, so
yeah.
A particularly bad result or bad day in the office for Derby. And if you think of their firepower up front with Chris Martin, Darren Bent, Andy Vyman, Tom Ince, Russell, probably missed it, Will Hughes, Bryson, Hendrick, I could go on. It's poor. They've only had one or two shots on target. I think it's not a brilliant start, is it, for Derby? But Bolton away isn't the best or isn't the easiest place to go. And I'm sure Neil Lennon will try and make Bolton's home ground a fortress.
I think just touching on Derby, obviously, as I said previously, they are the favourites to win the league this season. But I don't really see them as having strengthened significantly, because they had Bent and Ince last season, and they were part of that team that just flopped midway through the season. I don't know if they were to blame, but they were still in that team that flopped. They've improved the defence with Jason Shackle. There's no denying he's a good player, but I still think they need more players if they want to go.
I have to disagree with that. I think injuries was a main concern. They didn't have a striker for about 6 games. And any team without a striker, it's going to be hard to score the goals to win you the game. So they've brought in Vyman, who's a quality player. He wasn't, I don't think he's a Premier League striker, but in the Championship I'm sure he'll get 10 plus goals. And Ben, Martin, Vyman, Ince, Russell, I just said the names, they got enough firepower to absolutely blow this league. But I think the only question mark to Derby's season at the moment would be the manager, Paul Clement, because that's his first proper manager or first team manager experience. He's been an assistant manager with Ancelotti when he was at PSG and Real Madrid, so he's had massive experience at huge world-class clubs. But the step up from assistant manager to manager is a big gulf, and some people just don't make that jump extremely well. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. And at the moment, there's still a few question marks in my opinion, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I guess, how well he does.
Moving on to the last game we're going to analyse, which is a game that was played earlier today. Preston 0, Middlesbrough 0. Middlesbrough also with high expectations this season. Preston fans are optimistic as well, but I don't think there was much that could separate the two sides. There wasn't really many clear-cut opportunities. Joe Garner caused our defence a bit of trouble. I think the only decent chance for both sides was Leadbitter's. I think it was about 20 minutes in. He beat a couple of defenders, but he just narrowly fired wide.
Yeah, oh, well, Middlesbrough didn't have a shot on target in the whole 90 minutes, so that kind of tells you how, I wouldn't say poor Middlesbrough were, but shooting-wise, they were dreadful. But you should have at least one shot on target in the whole 90 minutes, so I think Aitor Karanka will be very disappointed with that, because if you don't have a shot on target, you're not going to score, are you?
I think what it is, with Leadbitter and Clayton, they're both very similar players, and Leadbitter, he attacks, but he likes to hang around the edge of the box, and Clayton just offers nothing in attack, but he's marvellous at defence. So I think maybe if we were to change things around, we would just play one of them, and then put Adam Forshaw in, who's a much more attacking player, or maybe Diego Fabrini move down him back a bit, and then it allows us to play with two up front then, and they're just our striker. It doesn't matter who it is, because even if we had Jordan Rhodes up front today, we still wouldn't have scored, because we just need. I don't think it's a new player we need. We just need a tactical rethink, I think. And, but the thing is with Karanka, he's really stubborn and he just doesn't want to change his tactics at all.
But you do have a lot of fixtures to go within the season, and a lot of points to pick up. And Karanka can do his thinking during the week to prepare for next week's fixture.
I think we've got a cup game against Oldham on Wednesday. That is a perfect chance to try a new tactic, or to try different players. But
where's Tom?
He'll try the exact same formation.
Thank you, Michael, for that wonderful roundup of the Sky Bet Championship, and we will be coming back to Michael every week for some more great analysis, and we'll be chipping in time to time. Anyway, let's move on to the to the Scottish League, and Colm, our Scotland correspondent, will be taking us away. Take it away, man. Take it away.
Yeah, there was 4 fixtures on Saturday, where starting with Dundee against Hearts, that finished 2-1 to the away side. Hearts didn't start the game particularly well the first 45 minutes. They struggled to get into the game with Robbie Nielsen starting a kind of weird tactic with the new signing Oshiniwa, who is a left back, playing left midfield, and Ali Mostuk was playing centre midfield, which it just didn't work. So then at half time he changed it up and brought on Sam Nicholson, and I think we scored a penalty, and then within a minute of that we scored again, and kind of struck Dundee, and they tried to get back into the game, but Hearts held on for all 3 points. But the other games were Motherwell 0, Dundee United 2, Ross County 2, Hamilton Accies 0, and St Johnstone 1, Inverness 1. But 2 games today: Partick Thistle 0, Celtic 2, and Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 0. Partick Thistle have got 1 point from 2 games, but against Celtic you're expected to sit back, try and hold out till half time. That is a positive, but they couldn't hold out to half time. Tom Rogic, playing his first game in 2 years for Celtic, got on the score sheet with his first ever goal for the club, and then Chris Commons added a goal in the second half. And
just a button, sorry, but I saw Van Dijk did some wonderful skill.
The bottom corner.
Yeah, I mean, he just nuts a Partick Thistle defender.
Yeah, the Partick Thistle centre backs were 18 and 20 today.
Yeah,
against
you
Celtic.
could tell with that piece of defending, really, just doing little step overs, and then just back heel it kind of through his legs, and then he's off.
I think Van Dijk will be slowly drifting away from Parkhead.
Just going down south, just slowly going down south.
Just slowly, just packing his boxes into the back of his car. But they very comfortable win for the champions, and they surge on to the European adventure.
They're top of the league again, aren't they? Back to the top.
Not for long. We play on Wednesday. We'll see how that pans out. Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 0 is the last game. Graham Shinnie scored his first goal for Aberdeen to join him from Inverness with a very, very nice finish. Kilmarnock, who have conceded 6 goals in 2 games now, are bottom of the league with 0 points. They're the only team on 0 points. And the summer signings that Gary Locke has signed from various clubs have just not worked out, and he might be heading for the exit door. Although Aberdeen exited European football on Thursday night, they've came back strong, and at home they pummeled a poor Kilmarnock side.
Yeah, they look really bad, don't they, Kilmarnock already?
Yeah.
I know it's early doors, 2 games in, but conceding 6 goals in just those 2 games means they really need to sort out their defensive woes already. And yeah, the manager, I think he's only won 1 game since his appointment in late March, so that's not brilliant, is it?
Kilmarnock also finished the game with 34% possession.
So again, they're just losing the...
And also Adam Rooney added a penalty on the 56th minute after Will Flood was filled in the box. But that rounds it up for the Scottish games, and thanks for that.
Thank you, Colm. Thank you for that. We'll be coming back to Colm every week like we do with Michael with the championships.
At least I know what I like to speak of what I know.
It's good. It's a nice little roundup. And that's all. That's all we got time for. We've probably run over quite a few minutes, but yeah, it's a massive episode, and we won't be covering every Premier League game like all week because I think we need to fit in European leagues because they are bloody good, aren't they? Especially La Liga. Love watching La Liga.
So, also, I'm gonna ask some people in the comments. Although people don't really comment often, what leagues would you like us to cover? And we will try and cover them. And would you like us to cover every Premier League game? That is the English Premier League, not the Scottish League.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we've had a great time, like we normally do. Just a few little plugs before we go. Our Twitter's at SwitchReplayYT. Be sure to follow us. We will be tweeting like live goal updates on Saturday. I think Tom did that this Saturday, didn't you, Tom?
Yes, I did.
In the second half, and I thought that was very good. Apart from you spelled Redmond's name wrong, but we'll skip over that. Our Twitch TV is Switch Replay Podcast. We do stream, and hopefully we are going to stream quite regularly throughout the season. We'll have to sort something out, and whenever we do, just check our Twitter again, and we'll be posting regular tweets about that kind of shiz. Yeah, our fancy football. Again, it might be a bit too late, but just join the league.
Join the league.
Yeah, there's 18 of us now, and there's a prize at the end, 3 prizes for first, second, and third. So Tom will put the league code down in the description. So join that because why not? You can win some money. It's worth it. It's a bye from Tom.
Goodbye.
It's a bye from Colm.
See you later.
It's a bye from Michael.
Bye.
It's a bye from me. See you later, peeps.